What's going on, guys? Jacob Orth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys with everyone's favorite guest on the channel.
Las Vegas Gals here.
So guys, Laci's joining us today because we're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about buying a home here in Southern Nevada. And this is something that pops up every so often when people are in the home buying process, because I don't think a lot of people realize this when they first look to buy a home, then they get in the process and they're like, wait, what is this?
Right.
So guys, if you need help when it comes to looking for a home here in Southern Nevada, Laci and her team will be happy to help you. It's going to be linked down below. You can fill out the form and contact them. But today, we're going to be talking about SIDS and LIDS.
Yes.
And that is something I've got comments on here in the channel before. People are like, what is this? Because I don't know if it's just specific here to Southern Nevada or if other places have this, but this is something that's come up several times in the home buying process. So let's talk about SIDS and LIDS, what it means, what's it
going to cost you?
Yeah, how it factors in. I don't know. Like, how am I going to word this? How it factors into the home buying process?
It mostly comes up when people are talking about new homes because really SIDS and LIDS are basically it's a bond or a loan that's issued from the government to the developer of the land and to the builder, and it helps them to really get it ready for you to move in. So it doesn't really matter what they're called, but the Special Improvement District, SID, and then Limited Improvement District, LID. I used to think it was land improvements. If I've ever said land, LID, land, sorry, I had it wrong. It's limited, but it doesn't matter. They're both basically the same thing. The government or the city will issue a bond that has to be repaid. Now, it's up to the developer as to whether or not they just repay it and build that and bake that cost for that land or those things that they're doing to the land into the cost for you as the consumer, or they'll charge you a separate fee, which is called the SIDS and LIDS fee. What they do really is when they buy a piece of land, they're grading it, they've got to lay sewer, they've got to lay sidewalks, they've got to do all the stuff to make it actually be a workable piece of land to build on and also live on. Right. So that's what that money really goes for. And whether it's a special SID or a limited LID improvement district, that's how they decide and define which loan they're going to get. But at the end of the day, it's really just getting the neighborhood ready, right? We have so many master plan communities here in Vegas that really started to come into play when we were seeing that. Like, they didn't want to just buy a small parcel of land and put 12 houses on it and sell them. They were like, let's create an experience. Let's create that master plan field to where they know where every park, brush, bush, tree, and stop sign is going to go before you even go. Yeah. So that's really what they are. So we see it a lot with new homes, so new home developers, some of them, again, bake that price into the cost of the home so you don't even know it exists. Others, which is a little more common these days because they want to advertise those lower prices, right? They'll basically add it on as a fee that you pay. You pay directly to the government. You pay it back throughout the year. And it's a 2-time per year payment. So it's like January and June or June and December, something like that. And really what that did, they're just breaking up that loan into an annual payment. They can range anywhere per house from $3,000, $1,000, all the way up to $50,000. It just depends on the neighborhood and what the loan was for.
Okay, and does it really make a difference whether it's a SID or a LID as far as?
No.
So it doesn't doesn't change anything in the home buying process?
No, other than that you just have an additional monthly payment or annual payment to make sure that you make it paid. It's sort of like an HOA. Like, HOA is a monthly payment and it's not included in your mortgage. You have to pay that separately. It's sort of like that. I just tell people to think of it as a utility. The one thing to know, though, that's really important is, let's pretend you bought a house, Jacob, which we're going to make him do at some point, and then we're actually going to show you that process. But let's pretend you're going to buy a house, and they say to you that there's a $5,000 SID or LID on top of the purchase price of the home. You're like, great, whatever, sign on the dotted line. Once you close on the home, your payments will start then, so you don't have to pay for it until then. And as your home is being built, that builder is paying those payments on your behalf. So it's not like you're having to pay for it while they build it and then pay for it in the end. They're starting to make those payments on your behalf while they build. But that's a $5,000 payment. That's it. It doesn't keep renewing. It doesn't extend. There's not a ton of crap tied to it. It's literally just $5,000. So when it's paid off, it's done.
No interest rate like with a mortgage?
There's a small interest rate that's baked into it that's back to the government, but that's something that they can share with you at the time. Okay. It's not some 3.85. It's nothing crazy. It's just genuinely like, oh, you wouldn't even have known there was an interest rate because that's the rate you were given from the beginning. So, but really, once it's paid off, it's done. So when you're selling your home, it's good to know that, if you have a balance due, you can decide, do I pay it off for the person that's buying my home, or do I just let it carry over? Because it will actually go into their name once you sell the house. So that's really the only effect it has.
And then when it comes to, SIDS and LIDs and that payment, is it something like, a lot of people might get a 30-year mortgage? Yeah. So is the SID or LID that comes with it going to be, for 30 years also?
Yeah, it's basically broken down like most of them are $500 a year broken out in 2 payments or whatever, but they're really just having you chunk away at it with that small amount of interest that's tied to it inside the loan. But I've basically seen them say whatever they're thinking, it's assuming that it's going to take you 30 years to pay it off. Is the way it works. So whether they break it down, they might have it broken down differently for different builders. That's going to depend on what they say to you at that time. Of course, that's what we're here for. We can help you figure that stuff out from the beginning. But in general, they're all pretty much the same, and they're not these $3,000 extra a year per kind of payment. They're small baby bites, really.
Okay. And then when you go through that process and you have your SID, your lid with the home, have you noticed with people buying, because you've sold homes to people where they include it into the price or where they have it separate, do people seem to prefer one or the other?
Yes. So obviously, if you're buying a home, one of the great things that we can do for you is we can help you negotiate. If there's a SID or lid balance still sitting there, a lot of this is like Anthem in Henderson or like Summerlin. Summerlin has quite a few. So if you're going to buy one of those homes in Henderson or Summerlin, because that's where all of you are asking us to move, and there are other places, by the way, but those are great locations. Then what we would do is we would look at that before we even write your offer, and we would say, hey, looks like there's a $3,000 SID balance. We want the seller to pay that on behalf of the buyer when you close, so that you don't have anything hanging over your head. Not always going to be guaranteed to happen, and especially in a market like what we're in currently, it's definitely not likely, but it's something to consider. But it does, and people prefer to have it paid off, of course.
Now, if you're looking to buy a home here in Southern Nevada with, a brand new home or, a home that's resale, I mean, do pretty much all like more modern homes have SIDS and LIDS attached to them?
Yeah, we're seeing that come back a bit. And to be honest with you, we've talked a little bit about all the stuff going into this year with buying a new home and just being able to build. And I think because there's lumber shortages and all kinds of crazy stuff happening, the prices for those new homes are creeping up. Sorry, I got a little choked in my throat. The prices for those new homes are starting to creep up a little bit. And so I think what's going to happen is that instead of baking those into the price, they're going to pull those out of the price so they continue to look like they're not charging as much for the homes, and then they layer that on top when you're done. So, but yeah, most of the more modern, more new communities are definitely going to have something there. It's just a matter of whether they baked it into the price. You're paying it no matter what, just FYI.
And with the SID or lid, if someone's looking like, say they are looking at a home price, and they're aware of now that there could be another, portion they have to pay attached to, is it usually a % of the house's overall value?
It just varies, honestly. Okay. I wish I knew the answer to that. I've tried to figure it out. I've asked experts. I've tried to do the math. I just don't know. But I really think it's basically, we gave you, let's say it's $1 million to help develop this land. You're now going to decide to build 400 homes. They would probably divide it across those 400 homes evenly, or based on lot size is typically like based on how much land you own, you have to pay back for what land improvements were done. That kind of thing.
So there's no set formula. You could be like, okay, the house is listed for this much. This % is going to be separate.
It's up to the developer, honestly. It's how do they want to get their money back and how do they want to get that loan paid off. And I'm sure that there's probably an agreement with the government that has to coincide with that, but as realtors, our job is really to just make sure we're looking at those numbers and protecting you so you know what you're going to spend, and also just so you can be fully aware of, like, if you don't pay that, they can put a lien on your house, so that's really important, that kind of thing. So our job is really to help you understand why the fee is there, but all the back end stuff is really between the developer and the city.
Okay. So, so they're not going to know unless they actually get in, they get on the phone, or they have a realtor find out for them what is the price attached to this. I don't think I would let it worry you too much. I think from a purchasing perspective, most of the SIDS and LIDS around town are pretty minimal. I don't think I've seen any above a $10,000 or $15,000 range. Now that seems like a lot of money, but that's not that money owed today. That's money that your baby trickling, paying off this baby loan over the years. So really based on that, don't let it limit you. Don't let you think, oh, now they've got these SIDS and LIDS. I knew I didn't want to move to Vegas, because that's not really what it's about. It's just another piece of information that we feel will really help you understand how we do business here when it comes to real estate and what you're getting into. We just want you to make sure that you know up front so that you're making the right decision. And is the amount of time you have to pay that off, is that different from builder to builder as well?
It is, yeah. Okay. It's all going to be different. So these are questions that we do for you. We ask for you. We make sure that you have the knowledge up front. Going into a builder on your own is really not wise, because unless you've watched all these videos with me and Jacob, and then I guess I'm out of luck. But at the end of the day, it's really not wise. You really want to make sure you have a realtor with you, someone from our team preferably, because we are super committed to making sure that anybody who's watching Jacob's channel or our channels is going to be able to make sure that they're eyes wide open in the process. But yeah, it's tough. Some of those builders don't think that people want to know the back end information, don't think that it's important to share. It's a $7,000 lid. Well, what the hell does that mean? Like, what's the payment? When is it due?
How much time do you have to pay?
Yeah, they don't. It's just they're so busy trying to push you into the house and get those upgrades that like it's our job to go slow your roll here. Hold on. Yeah. What's this number? What are we talking about? So, and that's what I do, by the way. Excuse me, slow your roll. You know, you got to like do the neck thing.
Yeah, she's little, but she'll speak up. Don't worry.
I'm going to talk about how I'm little. Look, we almost look normal today.
Yeah, when we're sitting down.
Shoot. I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, I mean, SIDS and LIDS, actually, we covered a pretty good amount. We covered if there's any interest, how long you'd have to pay, how it varies from builder to builder, different parts of, town. A lot of newer homes are associated with it.
Mostly newer, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, is there anything else we didn't cover about SIDS and
I
LIDS?
think just how fabulous you look today is what we
Thank
need
you.
to talk about. You're looking very handsome these days, yes. Ladies, he's single. Let me know if you want to hook up.
But just handsome these days, not like a few years ago.
No,
just
of course not.
these days.
No,
yeah, all the years of work before don't count.
I mean, we've known each other, 8 years now? Almost 7 years. 7 years.
It's been a while.
Almost 7 years.
Believe it or not.
And I've seen you get better looking every year, my friend.
Thank you.
We got to find you a girlfriend. I'm taking inquiries today. You can find me at Las Vegas Gal on Instagram. Let's get this guy a nice girl to hang out with.
So SIDS and LIDS.
Sorry, Jacob. You know I got to derail when I can.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, so we covered it.
I love it. SIDS and LIDS. Bottom line is call a realtor, call our team, click that link, because that's really that's the goal, that's the plan. Let us help you figure out what the hell this SIDS and LIDS thing is on your time.
All right, so guys, as always, Laci comes on, does a great job.
Thanks.
So if you guys need help buying a home in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, here in Clark County, this is your go-to gal right here, okay? So links down below, get in contact with her and the team. She'll be happy to help you out. That is going to be it for this video. I am Jacob.
I'm Laci. That's at Las Vegas Gal on Instagram if you are interested at all in my buddy Jacob here, because we got to find him a cute girl. Bye. Nice to see you.
And this is My Life in Vegas.